There's a misconception that is at the core of why so many new and not so new designers express that they experience or have experienced imposter syndrome. So let's talk about that. Hi everyone, it's Elizabeth from DesignerUp, helping you become a more skillful and mindful designer. Imposter syndrome is a felt sense of fraudulence when we doubt that we've earned our accomplishments, when we don't believe that we're worthy of them, or when we feel as if we're pretending to be better than we are. The misconception is that imposter syndrome is something I will no longer feel when I become a professional designer, get hired by a company, become more experienced, etc. But the truth is that imposter syndrome doesn't just vanish because you've accomplished your goals or have a specific title, and it can crop up at any time in your career. Mindfulness, however, is a wonderful way to help us shift our perspective, to be kinder to ourselves, and to relieve some of the anxiety and fears around imposter syndrome by helping us change our relationship to our imposter. These 3 reminders can be really powerful in helping us to shift our perspective. Number 1, everything is learnable. As you identify your blind spots and commit to taking action and putting learning into practice, things tend to flow more naturally. So just keep your focus on the learning and the practice. Number 2, everyone is learning. No one knows it all. You know more than some in certain areas, and vice versa. So look for ways to cross-pollinate and share that knowledge. Number 3, everything is negotiable. If you know how to back up your design decisions with qualitative and quantitative data, and how to communicate strategically with others, then it's really not a matter of who's better. It's just about sharing different points of view. The truth is that without comparing ourselves to anyone else, or even to an ideal version of ourselves, we give ourselves the freedom to see things as they really are. We realize that instead of feeding this imposter energy or focusing our attention on it, we can acknowledge it, make friends with it, and then choose to recognize our accomplishments. We can choose to believe in our worth and trust in our ability to find the correct answer, even if we don't know it yet. We can dare ourselves to find inspiration in the uncertainty and doubt. My advice to my DesignerUp students is don't feed the story behind the imposter. Instead, mindfully embrace it and bring awareness to it, because we're all students of design. And it's an industry and an art form that's evolving by the minute. And we've all had or will have this feeling at one time or another. If you are feeling imposter syndrome right now, that's wonderful, because that's the very feeling that pushes us towards growth and improvement. But don't forget how far you've come either, or how much you can teach someone else that's struggling in the areas that you once were and that you're now more experienced in. After 13 years in the industry, I still Google all the things. I still post questions in Stack Overflow, and I still ask colleagues for advice on a bi-daily basis. And by colleagues, I mean my brother. And by advice, I mean, can you please fix this thing that I broke? The only difference between me as a designer now and me as a designer 10 years ago is, well, not that much. The questions, the context, and my perception have changed. But the things that I needed to know to accomplish my job as a junior designer, it's no longer enough to accomplish my job as a lead product designer. And by that measure, I still don't know enough to do my job perfectly or to feel like a fully formed designer. But what mindfulness and over a decade in this industry has taught me is how to accept and embrace this reality and realize that this is the nature of what we do. And once you let go of the resistance and the identification that the label of imposter is bad, you start to liberate your own confidence and aptitude and your inner creative freedom. To me, this is the true meaning of being a professional. And as long as you remember this, you will never be an imposter. Thank you all for watching and listening, and I'll be back again with more soon.